Yeah, at least the last one was opaque and you could actually see the guy through the window.
I know.
This not so, all right, now we're on. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Village of Royal Palm Beach Special Magistrate Hearing for Wednesday, June 12th, 2024. According to Verizon, it's 5:31. We can get started. My name's Doug McGibbon. The first thing we're going to do is swear everyone in. I will do this multiple times as strays come into the building, as they always do. But let's start out with everyone who's here. Please raise your right hand. Say, "I do" when we're done. Does everyone swear or affirm the testimony they're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Say, "I do." And everyone knows their right from their left. This is a good crowd, so yay. All right, most of our hearings this evening are going to be fine assessment hearings or violation hearings. You should have signed in so they could pull your file and get you ready to go through the agenda and skip the cases that aren't here. When you hear your name being called, please go up to that podium over there, identify yourself with your name and your address. The village will show you some documents, ask if they can put them into evidence. They will present their case. You can question their witnesses, and then it's your turn. You can present whatever evidence you'd like to present, and then I get to make a decision. That all flips when we get to the fine reduction part of our agenda. Those people have been through a violation hearing and a fine assessment hearing. They are asking for relief, so they get to go first, and the village gets to go second. And I think I've hit all the highlights, so please proceed, Village of Royal Palm Beach.
Thank you, Special Magistrate Amity Barnard, Village Attorney. We're starting on the agenda with fine assessment hearing cases. The first one is 23-1067, Greenway Village North Association, Inc., Buildings 1 and 2.
And what your position is with Greenway Village Association, Inc.
My name is Juan Vasquez, member of the board, president, along with the Skyline Management Company.
Okay, you're president. Okay.
Good evening, Special Magistrate. My name is Andrew. I'm a code inspector with the Village of Royal Palm Beach.
What's your last name?
Andrew Arbianti, for the record. And I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence, Special Magistrate. Exhibit 1, we have the order granting a continuance and fine assessment hearing. Exhibit 2 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 3 are the pictures, and Exhibit 4 are is the permit information from AS 400.
Okay. See if there's any objection from the respondents.
The exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the previous order with the signed certified mailing. Exhibit 2 is the Division of Corporations information for the association. Page 2 of that, page 3 of that. Exhibit 3 is photographs that are dated. Oops, sorry about that. You tell me to stop, I'm going too fast. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then Exhibit 4 is the village's. Mr. Armienti, is this permit information?
That's correct.
Permit information. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Okay. I'm just going to point this so it gets you on the record.
This is going to be fun. All right, service via signed green card.
Oh, did you already flip to one?
Yeah, I'm kind of flipping.
Okay, good.
Look, it's raining today.
Those are the stains on the enclosure.
So what are you trying to tell me about this case?
And I guess, let me have the code officer explain to you, there are a couple of sections that are in compliance, so if you could put that on the record.
That's correct, Special Magistrate. They are in compliance with the missing and torn screens.
Which is what section?
So the sections don't actually come off, they're overlapping, but just the description should come off.
Okay, screen enclosures, missing torn screens, got it.
Yes, the missing and torn screens as well as the paint. You'll see from today's pictures that it was freshly painted.
So the only things that remain out of compliance are structure and screen enclosure stain and holes in the structure.
Okay. And last time we had Ms. Ramirez here from your property management associate or property management company. I don't see her here, so what are you going to tell me about this?
Well, since then, we did have a few projects completed. One of them, which was not mentioned today, was the common doors, common area doors. They were all replaced and fixed. And we also acquired a painting company, pressure cleaning company, which they're working since May 3rd. They started painting and pressure cleaning at the same time. They haven't finalized the work, but they're working daily. I know they haven't worked the past couple of days because of the rain, but they're out there finalizing the work.
Okay. And I take it you probably want a little bit more time to finish because you've been doing a good job and
Yeah, we did
working out some of these
refinish.
things.
Yeah, we had to redo the stairs. One of the pictures, it did show that the stairs were done. I got the contract of the painters, that we have right now. Again, we did an assessment because there were a few projects due. But they're working on it. They're working on it as we speak. I know they didn't go out today because of the rain, but they're out there. Probably within 2 weeks, they should be completed with the pressure cleaning per unit and the painting.
Okay. Now, what does the village say with regards to his response and
So this is a fine assessment hearing. There have been 2 continuances already granted. This case was originally written in October, so we are 8 months into the process, so we're seeking to have a fine start running as of your prior order, which required compliance on or before May 10th. So we're asking for $825 and continuing. That's only a $25 a day fine for those 33 days. But again, this has been going on for a long time, and 2 continuances have already been granted.
Right. Okay. Well, they're saying that you've already had enough time and you've been messing around a lot, but quite frankly, no.
The one,
Screens and fixing the paint and getting everything else done, and if a couple weeks, sort of hard to make you eat a fine. I'm going to bounce them till next month for a status fine assessment hearing, and if they aren't done by next month, then I'm going to fine them at the original date, which would have been $825 and continuing, and if you are done, we'll deal with that when you're done.
sounds good, sounds fair. I know that,
So I understand the joys of Florida condominium and cooperative housing after the Surfside collapse and everyone's had to go punch up their reserves according to state law, and it's not an easy time to have a condo. So given the fact that this is not just you, but is also you and a statewide concern, I'll give you the next month and we'll see what's happening. All right, so status fine assessment hearing will be on what date?
The next fine assessment hearing is July 10th, so we'd ask for compliance by July 8th and maintain the $25 a day fine.
All right, and it's a status/fine assessment. And you're getting that because you're working on these things?
no, and we will replace the
And this
association.
goes for everyone here and everyone watching out in TV land, all 3 of you. Once you've finished your work, it doesn't count until you literally call the code enforcement officer to have them come by and do an inspection.
Okay.
I've literally watched people fix things on my way home from these meetings. Literally, a door was being repaired on my way home. But it wouldn't count until you get that code officer to come by and give you an affidavit of compliance, and everyone wants an affidavit of compliance in their file. So it's the only bold part of my orders that I sign. So if you are good enough to fix these things, please be like any guy anywhere, show it off. Call everyone and say, look, I've done this, okay?
Sounds good.
And can I ask him, Special Magistrate, do you have a contractor lined up to do the required work that is still outstanding?
Yeah, I have the contract there.
And when are they expected to start work?
No, they started, it's 2 buildings, so they started the first week of May.
To fix both of the outstanding things, the structures and screen enclosure stained and the holes in the structure?
The screens were already,
The screen enclosures are still stained, the structures and screen enclosure. So I just want to make sure that we don't get to the next month's hearing and you're still not in compliance and then you're asking for more time. I mean, cleaning the screen enclosure should be, you see the pictures up there? That's a pretty
okay.
easy fix. So you've had 8 months to fix that, and here we
Make sure when
are.
they're pressure cleaning things, they're pressure cleaning the screen enclosures to get all that mold and crap out of there.
So who's your contractor? Just to fix the holes then?
I'm so sorry.
Is your contractor just to fix the holes?
Broken stuff, not pressure cleaning the screens.
Okay.
But
Okay.
we'll get the pressure cleaning company that's right there right now
Okay,
to hit on that as well.
perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Next one is the next one on the agenda, 23-1311, 893 Orchid Drive, Juan D. Escobar.
Hello, my name is Juan Escobar. Address is 893 Orchid Drive, Royal Palm.
Let's take it away, Village.
Thank you, Special Magistrate. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the order finding violation from March 18th. Exhibit 2, the notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 are the pictures, and Exhibit 5, the AS 400 permit information.
Exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the previous order finding violation. Exhibit 2 is a notice of hearing for today's hearing with the signed certified mail. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 4 is photographs with the dates. And Exhibit 5 is the village's permit information. Any objection to these documents? No. Thank you.
Objection? Sign green card for service.
And Special Magistrate, for the record, the canopy has been removed in the backyard.
Yeah, kind of going to figure that one out. I see there's still stacks of pavers laying around.
No permits on record with the village.
Yeah. Roof, door roof, electrical. Okay.
So as Mr. Armienti said, this is, one portion has complied, that's 2657. So we'd ask that your order require them to continue to comply with that section, which is the canopy without a permit. As he said, the remaining sections remain in violation and have been in violation for 76 days. So we're asking for a fine of $3,800 and continuing. That's at a $50 a day fine from your previous order, which required compliance on or before March 28th.
So you have a lot of unpermitted improvements to your property according to the village's code enforcement people.
Okay, can you specify one by one, please?
We have pavers. The doors, windows. Can I see?
Yes, the door, yes, I will explain on that. I ordered doors and windows, and I got them earlier, 2 months in advance, and I did those myself, with help, of course. And yes, I need to get permits for those. They are done according to code. I would need to, I guess I would have to pay for a fine for doing them before without a permit. I need an inspector to come and inspect it. Oh, yes.
The permit, and you need to get the permit issued. That usually takes 2 to 4 weeks, depending.
Okay.
You know, part of these permits are, especially for doors and windows, you need wind load applications and engineering drawings and all this other stuff. You know, you jumped the gun.
I do apologize.
And you've never applied for the permit, and you got the order finding violation, and you should have applied for a permit after you got that. You're the opposite of Mr. First Guy, who at least went out and started hiring people and getting things done. You know?
Yeah, I apologize for doing them in advance.
So what the village is asking for is a $3,800 fine because you did all this work without a permit and you still haven't applied. And right now, the only thing I can do is, you know, if you're here at a violation hearing, I can give more time. But you weren't here at the violation hearing, so you didn't get more time. This is not the time to ask for additional time unless you have done something to earn that right. And so what I can do right now is just go 3,500 plus continuing is granted, and that's pretty much all I can do. You need to go down and get your permits, and once your permit's issued, you need to let the code enforcement department know, and maybe they'll stop the fines, and they have to be inspected.
And you can, once you get into compliance, so what you might want to do is keep track of everything you've done from today on, so that you can come back to the magistrate once you're in compliance and you can ask for the fine to be reduced. But he'll want you to present with him, and I'm not speaking for him, but typically he likes to see evidence of what you've done from today's hearing going forward, how fast you got through the process and what you did to make sure you were getting through the process as fast as you could, so that you can come back and ask for fine mitigation later.
If you ask for a fine reduction and it takes you 6 months to apply for a permit, I'm not going to care. If you started applying for a permit tomorrow or the next day, you know, maybe we'll get you reduced. But right now, you're looking at a fine that's going to be continuing until you get that permit. So please get the permit as fast as you can.
I will do that, yes.
Okay, 3,800 plus continuing is granted.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Next, we're going to violation hearings beginning on the bottom of page 2, case 24-0230, 176 Ponce de Leon Street, Lily F. Samuels. You're welcome. I'll start doing that so you can get the papers ready. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Special Magistrate. This is for 176 Ponce de Leon Street in reference to code sections 14.4A and 6.135, disabled vehicles and no house numbers on the structure. The violation was observed on March 14th. The notice of violation was sent certified mail on March 14th and returned on March 16th. The notice of hearing was sent on April 24th and posted. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence, Special Magistrate. Exhibit 1 is a notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is a notice of hearing with an affidavit of compliance. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 are the pictures, and Exhibit 5 is an affidavit of compliance. Excuse me, for the record, Special Magistrate, for Exhibit 2, I meant affidavit of service.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lillian Samuels.
Thank you. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record for tonight's hearing. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation with the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing and the affidavit of service. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 4 is photographs of the violation.
Okay.
And Exhibit 5 is the affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Objection and finding a fact granted?
Thank you.
Is that my job here? All right. Oh, I'm not loud enough? Oh, damn.
I can't hear you, and I'm standing closest
Times
to
I've
you.
been told in my life, you're not loud enough. All right, they're saying that you fixed things. There's a picture of the driveway without any cars in it, so obviously anything that was a problem there has been removed. You put some house numbers up, you're golden. Just, this sets you up as a repeater, though, so if you have another instance with a disabled vehicle, you may get in trouble without getting the initial warning. I don't see how you would get in trouble with the house number part, but who knows?
So for 5 years, so just make sure you don't repeat the same sections for 5 years.
But yeah, for right now, all you're going to get is a finding of fact in the mail that says you fixed it. So keep it fixed, okay? Thank you. No, you fixed it, thank you. Oh, and service was via signed green cards, just for
Thank
the
you.
record.
Next page, 3, second one down, 24-0243, 268 Ponce de Leon Street. Deanna Trevors trustee, and Deanna Trevors trust title holder.
Special Magistrate, the address is 268 Ponce de Leon Street in reference to code sections 15-141 and 15-71 for hat racking a tree.
Okay, please tell us who you are.
And Deanna Travers,
Spearman, could you spell your last name, please?
Spearman.
Even with a V or a PH? Oh, see, I see. It's good that I asked. All right, Stephen Spearman, and you are Diana Travers?
Deanna.
Deanna, excuse me. All right, just got to circle the right names.
Code enforcement officer was not quite done with his testimony. If he could proceed. Thank you.
The violation was observed on March 19th and sent, and the notice of violation was sent on March 20th and returned on the 22nd of March. The notice of hearing was sent certified mail on April 30th and returned on May 3rd from UPS tracking, according to the UPS tracking website. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is the notice of hearing. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 are the pictures, and Exhibit 5 is the permit information from AS 400.
Okay.
Are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record for tonight's hearing? Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation.
Okay,
So that's with the signed certified mail.
yeah. Not that it matters. We're not even supposed to be here because the mailman gave me the card.
We'll get there. That is a common problem, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Exhibit 2 is the notice of hearing that you have there with the USPS showing delivered, which is why we didn't get the green card back, because you have it in your hand. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property. Exhibit 4 is photographs of the violation, excuse me. And Exhibit 5 is the village's permit information. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
Objection. This looks more interesting than my normal hat racking case. All right, we have a USPS tracking confirm showing delivery, so you have service. And it looks like we have a half a tree trimmed because part of it was on someone else's property and probably shedding on their toys.
Well, there's a little bit more to it. As far as the camper being the violation,
No, it wasn't the camper. It was the tree is hat racked.
That's gone, right? The camper complied?
Yeah,
So
it's just the
the
hat
tree is
rack
for tonight.
tree. So the camper's not an issue. Don't even talk about the camper. Don't raise anything about the camper.
Okay.
You're not in trouble with that.
okay.
It's the tree problem. And I think the tree problem, well, you tell me about it.
Basically, we were tired of the leaves in the yard with the tree being a nuisance, and my neighbor was very upset with it. I had talked to Linda about it. He offered to trim the tree. I said, go ahead. We went out of town, came home, and that's what I found, and he told me that code enforcement had stopped the tree trimmer from trimming the tree, that it was being hat racked. I, at the time, had no idea what hat racking meant. I just told him to trim the tree, so my neighbor hired someone to do it, and Linda told me, stop cutting the tree, which I did, didn't touch it after that. She said I needed to find an arborist to move forward with the tree, which I have kind of tried to do. I'm getting a couple arborists that don't have phone numbers any good anymore. I've had 2 say they don't want to deal with the village, and I either need time to find an arborist, or I would also like to possibly remove it. I didn't know I needed a permit to remove it, because I really didn't want to remove it, just trim it back.
All right, here's my big question. Who owns this tree? Whose property is it on?
It is on my property.
Okay, good. I was like, your tree is fine. All right, so this is do we have any other pictures of the tree? Because this one's so far away. That's better. Now, you can get a vegetative removal permit and remove the tree if you so desire.
I didn't
Okay.
really want to,
No,
but
here we go.
at this point, I don't really have a choice, but I've kind of got put in the
You
predicament.
may have a choice.
Okay.
And your choice is this. If the tree is trimmed at the trunks,
Well,
is it
now-
okay? Because
It's going to depend on what the arborist says, because what he's done already, he's got to get the arborist involved, or he's got to remove the tree, because you can't just take off
I
that
did-
one big limb. That's the same thing as tree
Oh, I-
abuse, given the size of the limbs. So if the tree doesn't come out, the arborist needs to get involved.
Okay, see, because when I look at this, you're not supposed to trim a tree that's like got over 3-inch branches or whatever it is. But if you're cutting that sucker off at the stump, or not the stump, the main trunk, you can't stump a tree?
You have to properly prune it, and what's already happened here
Okay.
is
In that case, you're going to get more time to get an arborist. Okay? So we're going to push this off another month or so.
we're asking for compliance by August 1st or the August 14th hearing, so that gives him 2 months.
8,
For an
8
arborist.
whatever, 8 what?
$14 or $25 a day fine.
All right. All right, you're going to have till August 1st to either figure out what you want to do with the tree or get an arborist to say that you can whack part of it off and it'll be fine.
Okay.
I don't care which you do, but I would apply for the vegetative removal permit while you are,
So I'm,
now,
I
while
got
you
no
are,
problem
while you
being
are doing the
compliant with that.
arborist search thing. That way, at least you will have the ability to cut it down if you want to in a permitted way.
Okay.
And it's a free permit, right?
No fee permit, we like
Or
to say.
they know, free and no fee are the same thing.
I just didn't know I needed a permit to cut a tree.
It's a no-fee permit, and you have to apply for it because they want to make sure you have other vegetation on your property, so it's not just St.
Okay.
Augustine. So do that while you're trying to get your arborist, and you've got until August 1st to turn in your report,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
So good luck with that.
No problem.
Just make sure when you're getting an arborist, make sure it's a certified arborist. A lot of
That's the
landscape.
problem. I'm
Right.
having people saying they are arborists, and I ask them for
not.
their ISA number and proof. Oh, well, I don't have that, so arborists
So
aren't
you're
as
already
easy to
asking-
find as you think.
Yeah.
No, they
that's-
won't recommend, they can't recommend one.
Recommend.
But I have tried, I
That'd be like
swear I've tried.
picking winners and losers, and it's like, here's our favorite guy, and if you hire our favorite guy, maybe you'll do better. The only way to solve that is not to have a
He's
favorite
getting
person.
hacked in the neighborhood all over the time, so I didn't know I was going to get in trouble for this
Yeah,
to begin with.
unfortunately for you.
And my neighbor was trying to do
most
me
of
a
the people
favor.
No, most of this happens when some guy comes by and says, I'll trim your tree for X dollars, and you're going, that's good, it's hurricane season. And they never say, oh yeah, well, we don't know anything about permits or what we're supposed to be doing here. I mean, I
We
hired the
did that
guy.
about 2 years ago, and the trees, both of them, got completely hat-racked, and the village never said anything about it.
Yeah, well, it's
That's
also-
why I didn't know about the hat racking. I
Yeah,
didn't.
it's all also a matter of getting caught.
Okay.
There are people who come in here that have 25-year-old sheds that are unpermitted because finally someone said, hey, I don't like that shed there, it's all dirty. And they find out it wasn't permitted.
Okay.
You didn't know because you just bought a house with a shed on it, it's on the survey, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
So just try to find your arborist, but while you're doing it, do the backup of getting your permit. So if you have to take it down, you can take it down.
Okay, no problem.
Okay? Thank you very much. I'll
Thank
sign
you.
that order. All right, next one, please.
Next, top of page 4, case 24-0157, 145 Cordova Circle, Annie Joseph Benjamin and Mary Joseph.
Margaret Hancock, Code Enforcement Officer for the Village of Royal Palm Beach.
Is somebody here for 145?
Coming.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am.
Just
Thank you.
behind you. She's taking the long way
06.
around.
Code Section 06190A3 and 5, sidewalk and driveway, apron are stained, structure is stained. I observed this violation on 2/20/24, sent out notice of violation, certified mail on 2/23/24. Was signed and not dated on 3/5/24. I sent out notice of hearing, certified mail on 4/24/24, and posted that to the property. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
Okay.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I didn't turn around far enough to see you.
No, that's okay.
These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation with the signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is the notice of hearing with the affidavit of service for the notice of hearing. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership showing that you own the property. Exhibit 4 is photographs of the violation. Any objection to these documents being entered?
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Without objection. Now, the sidewalk, has that been cleaned? It kind of looks cleanish here.
Part of it, if you look onto this next picture here, part of it's not.
Okay, that's a better picture. So there's a little bit of cleaning stuff on the right-hand side. It looks,
Correct.
but in the
The
center,
left side of the house, right side of the driveway.
got it. Okay. You have service via posting. You have a signed green card on the notice of violation. All right, so they say you need a pressure cleaner, either a person or buy one your own.
We have one. My husband, who is actually wheelchair and walker bound, started and then couldn't finish. And then we had a death in the family. I was in a car accident. It's been an ongoing thing. But my father just started radiation treatment for prostate cancer. So right now, for the rest of this week, I will be living with him, well, my husband and I, and my sister gets here on Sunday, so we should be back home next Monday. So hopefully next week I can get someone to come and do it.
All right, well, you're probably going to get the same amount of time as the last gentleman did, which will be by August 1st, so that gives you
Another,
half
more than a month.
of June and all of July to get all that together. Yeah. I buy a pressure washer every 5 or 7 years because I usually wear them out.
We have one in our, it was sitting in the garage and he started, but
Yeah, well,
It never-
hopefully, and just for timing's sake, the best time to pressure clean all this stuff is right after the rainy season, because that way it dries out all the mold that's built up on your sidewalks and your driveways and stuff. You're going to clean it up now, it's going to be beautiful for about a week, and then it's going to start to get moldy again, but at least you'll be out of code enforcement problems, so.
yes. At this point, I just want to hire someone.
Oh, you can do that too, that'll make the economy go a little better. 818-1525?
818-1425.
1425. That was
Thank you.
close.
We don't want to make her show up on the second night of code enforcement. We want her
Okay.
on the actual night.
Hey, she could have a better argument for putting aside the order if I had the wrong date. See? I was looking at, no, you just get it done by the first and do us a favor. When you get it done, give us a call. Okay? Give the code enforcement officer a call. Margaret will drive by. She'll put a thumbs up in your file, call it an affidavit of compliance, and you'll be good for the next year or two. Okay?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
2 cases down from that, 24-0214, 100 Barcelona Drive, Robert Z. and Emily E. Johnson.
Sections 15-132, decorative items in the right-of-way. I observed this violation on 3/7/24, sent out notice of violation, certified mail on 3/8/24, got the green card signed and not dated on 3/15/24, sent out notice of hearing, certified mail on 4/24/24, and spoke to the owner on 4/26/24. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
Okay. Your people like showing up when they fix things.
Thank you, sir. These are the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation with the signed green card, or certified mail, rather. Exhibit 2 is notice of hearing for tonight's hearing, again with the signed certified mail. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership, showing you own the property. Exhibit 4 is a photograph of the violation. And Exhibit 5 is your affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these
are
documents being
they?
entered?
Oh, no.
Thank you.
Plant-like items.
Okay, so he's removed them though,
Yeah,
so.
they're gone now.
Yeah, they're gone. So I just want to say, so my mailbox has been hit 4 times. I've had to replace it 4 times in the past 6 months. So I was trying, originally I put those in the swale,
In front of the home.
in front of my house by the mailbox to kind of deter people from pulling in there because they've been breaking my irrigation heads. And I got the idea from across the street, the mailbox across the street, they had put 2x2s with reflectors in their swale, which is actually, they're still there.
They're probably in violation too, but that's okay.
But so I didn't know I was in violation. So when I got the first violation, it said to apply for a right-of-way permit.
Yeah.
So I came down here, got the permit for the right-of-way, went and had it paid to have it notarized, brought it here, quickly was denied that. So when I was denied that, I moved them over there because I didn't realize that's also considered swell. I could never get it right. My wife corrects me all the time every time I try to say it. And I thought it looked good there, but again, I didn't realize that was technically the same thing because like right now, there's a PBSO big board there that sits there for weeks saying, make sure you lock up your property. So I figured anything could go there because I was actually going to plant some trees there to make it look nice because it's just kind of open. But apparently, I guess I can't do that.
Well, you have to get a permit to do that, and they're picky about it, so good luck with your shot.
Plants.
Yeah, yeah, you need to go on YouTube and find indestructible mailboxes and see what you can create to make the entertainment for whoever's taking it down even more entertaining.
Well, I have cameras now because one actually skid marks into my driveway, took out the whole mailbox and the post and the trash can, actually pushed it into the trash can and broke the trash can. That was the worst, but a lot of times what it is where the street's so narrow and I'm right there on the corner, when somebody takes that turn kind of wide, they come into my area there and hit the rear view mirror on my mailbox. So I have put about 16 different screws. I mean, it's on there pretty good. So, and I picked up about 4 mirrors.
Yeah.
So,
Concrete buttons or the pyramids?
those things are so ugly. I'm sorry.
Option.
That's why I put those because I thought they looked good. I was just trying to make my yard look, better. I'm not,
It's
the
hard to make
concrete
them look
things.
pretty, but yeah, concrete is a wonderful thing to hit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it sounds like your last one was someone who probably ran through your yard in a more inebriated state.
But they're gone, they're picked up. Once, because I contacted her once I got the citation, she told me that they couldn't be there either. So
Yeah.
then I immediately put them up.
Especially metal.
So and I have those for sale if you guys are interested. So I'll give you a good deal on them.
That to me just looks like ultimate liability in the right of way for some kid to go fall into your spiky metal thing and have
Well,
him see the
actually,
village.
that's what everybody thinks, but they're actually foldable. Like they're
Oh, okay.
bendable. They're not
So-
sharp by
That's
no
good.
means. Because that was a concern of mine when I put them there, but they completely collapse. Nobody
I
would get
live in the
injured.
neighborhood. I know exactly that spot. Yeah, that's usually where I put my garage sale signs.
What's that?
That's usually where I put my garage sale signs,
Which
is in the swale, which is allowed.
is that a violation?
No, it's allowed because it's in the swale and it's permitted by the village.
If
Ha.
it's a village,
If it's a village-approved sign, and I only have village-approved sign, I have spares.
you're supposed to pay for garage sale signs.
$10.
How many that I picked up like a week later because they'd just been left there? People put 'em
I
there
am a good
all the
person.
time.
I pick them up the day of my garage sale so no one else shows up at my house. And we
Gotcha.
have gotten to the point where we have children who are now in their 20s, and we do not have anything marketable anymore for garage sales, so we don't do that anymore. It's all good. All right, you'll get a finding of fact in the mail. Good luck on your driveway or your mailbox issues.
Good here, no
We're all good
fine or
here.
anything like that?
No,
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Next one is 24-0257, 135 Finch Court, Dorothy Copper.
Sections 15-132, hoop left curbside. I observed this violation on 3/28/24. Sent out notice of violation, certified mail on 3/29/24. It was signed for on 4/1/24. Sent out notice of hearing, certified mail on 4/25/24, and posted it to the property. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
Dorothy Copper.
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am.
Copper, that's going to be
These are
Cooper.
the exhibits that the village would like to enter into the record. Exhibit 1 is the notice of violation with the signed certified mailing. Exhibit 2 is the notice of hearing for tonight's hearing with the affidavit of service of the notice. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership showing you own the property. And Exhibit 4 is a photograph. Just one. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Okay, thank you.
How we have service on this? We have signed green card. Oh, we have an affidavit posting. All right, so, Ms. Hancock, where is the hoop allowed?
When it's being used, it can be in that area, or even alongside the roadway, but when the children or adults are done playing with it, it needs to be placed on the
Their
other side
property,
of the
the-
sidewalk
Gotcha.
onto their property.
Okay, so what they're saying to you is if that hoop was on the other side of the sidewalk, it would be perfectly fine.
The mailboxes.
No, on the opposite, closer to your car. Yeah, over the other side. That property from the sidewalk to the road actually belongs to the village. We just get the joy of mowing it.
Okay,
So,
because before we had it facing the street, and they said no. So then we put it there thinking it was okay, but no, it has to be on the other side.
And, yeah,
It doesn't
Well,
have to lay down.
it doesn't have to lay down. It can stay up.
If it is being used, if there are people out there actively playing with it, it's perfectly fine.
But usually
when
the
they're
cars are
done,
parked there.
it needs to be on the,
How you gonna play basketball?
Well, you move the cars.
when they are not playing it, you have to put it up into your yard, up here. Where's the mouse? Up here in the yard, or up here in the yard. It could be along the sidewalk in your yard. When they want to play it, they can pull it out here. When
And
they're
play,
done,
but they
they
gotta
gotta put it back.
It's not their property.
But that's a lot for little kids constantly, especially now they're out of school. But if that's the rule, that's the rule.
Yeah, I mean, one of my neighbors actually put a concrete pole, or put a pole in concrete right off the edge of his driveway.
Okay.
And that way, it was permanently there, no one had to move it around, and then they would play and they would move the car over. You know, put the car in the swale, or put the car down at the bottom where the flare is, and they have more than enough room to play, and it's safer because it's away from the street. So 6-1, half a dozen another. All you have to do, though, to fix the situation is move it before, what's your date?
August 1st or August
August 1st,
14th.
8/1.
Or $25 a day fine.
8/14/25. And when you move it, just give them a call and have them do the inspection.
Okay, that is good.
And then you're done, so you
Okay.
don't worry
I have a
about forgetting to do it in July and going, oops, I forgot to call. No, the next time, move it out, get your affidavit of compliance.
Okay.
And
I
then
have
leave
a
it up near
question,
the top
too.
of the driveway, or, send the kids to the gym because they're going to be muscling that thing out back and forth
Back and
over
forth,
the
okay.
sidewalk.
I have a question too. If I have a concern about something in the village that maybe I wanted to violate the village on, what channel do I go through for that?
It all depends on what type of concern it is. I would actually talk to code enforcement since they deal with most of the problems.
Okay.
And if it's not a problem that they deal with, they will at least direct you to engineering or public works or the correct department.
Is that the Veterans Park?
That's probably Parks and Rec
Yeah.
that you would,
It's like a lot of mold, mildew. I took my little granddaughter
yeah,
there. and
it's
it was
probably,
like-
that type of complaint would be more towards the Parks and Recreation Department. And one of those things is always best if you follow it up with pictures and an email.
Okay.
And you may even want to, copy your, is
I
Royal
was
Palm Beach broken up
surprised,
into
really, to
zones, or is
see
it
it
just
like
county,
that.
citywide? I think we're just citywide, right? Yeah, I would say you may want to copy the city manager on it, just so everyone knows you're serious.
Okay. I mean, it's a nice park, and we're residents here, and I don't want to go to a park and see mold and mildew and water fountains not working and taking my grandchild there to play. So,
I actually condemned 2 or 3 of those lots from a Greek guy to build that park when I was doing a case for the
yeah,
village.
because it was all woods there at one point.
In the 80s.
Yeah, it was,
Actually, that's probably the early 90s.
yeah.
There's
Okay.
some out-of-town guy owned a few of those lots. I represented the village. We condemned it, and then they turned it into this beautiful park that my kids played on
Yeah.
until they got too old to play on jungle gyms.
Exactly. All
Okay,
right,
thank you very much. All right, next, please.
Page 5, second one down, 24-0267, 108 Cortez Avenue, David L. Holman.
Code section 2317, 2318B2, parking on or over the sidewalk, parking on lawn. I observed this violation on 4/1/24, sent out notice of violation, certified mail on 4/2/24. It was signed and not dated on 4/19, 4/19/24. Sent out notice of hearing, certified mail on 5/10/24. And I spoke with the owner on 5/13/24. Actual service. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit compliance.
Okay.
Certified mail that was delivered, unsigned. Exhibit 3 is verification of ownership showing you own the property. Exhibit 4 is photographs of the violation. Any objection to these documents?
What's the violation?
Thing you fixed it, so.
It's fixed. It was parking on.
Oh, okay, okay.
Right, so it's fixed. Any objection to just?
No,
the paper?
no.
Show that you fixed it. Yeah, this is,
Should be in there, no? Oh,
gee, we'll do one.
they are in
Yeah.
compliance.
Yeah, you're in compliance. Okay. Signed green card equals service. They say you fixed it, so
We're down.
you'll get what is known as a finding of fact, which means don't do it again for 5 years. So,
But
no, you're fine. Actually, I appreciate the lifted truck, especially in this weather. You might need to
Oh, yeah,
rescue
it
the
gets
rest of us because it's getting wet out there.
it does get wet. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you for taking care of it.
Next one is irreparable, irreversible violation hearing, case 24-0333-11001 Southern Boulevard, IVT Southern Royal Palm Beach, 1031 LLC.
Code section 2349A6, overnight lodging, RV parked in parking lot overnight, use of required parking spaces for a prohibited use. I observed this violation on 5/7/24, sent out notice of irreversible notice of violation and notice of hearing on 5/7/24. It was signed for on 6/14/24. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of irreversible notice of violation, notice of hearing. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, picture. Exhibit 4, affidavit compliance.
Your name for the record, ma'am? And your relation to the property? Exhibit 1 is the notice of irreversible violation and notice of hearing. Yep. The signed certified mail. Exhibit 2 is verification of ownership showing who owns the property. Exhibit 3 is a photograph of the violation. And Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance. Any objection to these documents?
No.
Thank you.
All right, admitted without objection. All right. What property is this?
It's Costco.
Okay. That works. All right, someone was living in the Costco parking lot?
They were, and this was like the third RV. There was a couple other ones that were in front, and then we've seen this one, so it was an ongoing issue. I haven't
Okay.
seen it since, though.
All right. Usually they're at Walmart,
Pardon
closer to
me?
groceries. I said, usually they're at Walmart, it's closer to the groceries.
Yeah, no, actually, so I came into the office and this was in my inbox and I responded within 12 minutes of the email, sent a porter out there, it was gone. I didn't know he was even there, but so I couldn't really respond prior to learning it was there, but we replied right away and it was gone by the time we sent somebody out there, so.
The other one up front
Whoever
was
they
there
were
for
there.
like a week.
Yeah.
And they were right
I didn't
in
know about
front.
that either, but, you know, as we discussed, we're just going to have our porter, like maintenance team, notify us if they see anything. If the police doesn't, you know, we'll just communicate. But we don't have an office there, so we lean on our vendors. But yeah, so it's gone now. It was gone immediately, so.
All right,
Keep an eye out for it. It's happening more and more.
Yeah, no, definitely. We have shopping centers all over the country, and it's just happening more frequently, to your point, yep. Definitely.
okay, well, rolling homelessness, okay. All right, what does the village want, other than,
We cited this as
Okay.
irreparable and irreversible, so we're not asking for a fine tonight, although we could. It's complied, and it sounds like she took care of it very quickly, so
Okay.
we're just asking for finding of fact.
yeah, you may want to just give Margaret your information, so, you know, if this ever happens again, they can just call you directly and say, hey, you may want to,
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, we have everything, definitely.
good, because, yeah, a lot of this is just communication. I mean, you know, sometimes you have some of these property management companies that have been around for a while, and they know the code enforcement people, and all they need is a phone call, and it's like, oh, yeah, we'll take care of that, and it doesn't
Yeah,
become an
sometimes-
issue.
We don't have an office on site, so we rely on our vendors a lot. So sometimes that's part of it too, just the delay. But I think our communication I think the city's communication and vice versa is pretty good. So
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
just it's good to keep
Sometimes
that
it's just
level of
timing.
communication open, just to, you know, to get the heads up so you don't get to this formal part. where
And
this-
just so the record is clear, this wasn't the first time, as Ms. Hangoat said, so we don't get to this hearing on the first time. They saw it on,
Couple times.
for me,
should to know, this wasn't
Yeah,
the first time we
no.
saw it for one day and you're at a hearing. It was a couple times before
Sure.
we even cited it.
Granted.
all right, have a good day.
Next is fine mitigation hearings, case 21-0828, 10723 Dalmani Way, Antonio Lopez.
Okay. Now, the gentleman in the tie, did anyone sign him in? He came in late.
Which one are you here for, sir?
He's the rest of the fine mitts.
Yeah, he was here previous. Okay, we'll get you next, thank you.
No, not a problem. No, you're all you're at the end. You're at the end of the agenda. I just wanted to make sure you got heard before we did other stuff. All right, so Mr. Lopez, like I said, this is where everything flips around, and you get to go first and tell us why you shouldn't be fined.
Can we have, before he goes, can we have the code officer get his
Sure.
testimony on the record? Did you get your testimony on?
No.
No. Special Magistrate, I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is the fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2 is the order assessing fine. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership, and Exhibit 4 is the affidavit of compliance.
Okay.
Oh, and I have this one.
All right. And what is the amount of the fine?
In this one, it is $20,025.
I'm sorry, I thought it was 19.
The number I have is $20,025.
Okay.
What number do you have? Do you have a sheet
Whatever.
in there? Yeah, that's the correct number, $20,025.
2025. Got it. Okay. All right, so, easy question. Why should the fine be mitigated?
Well, sir, let me start stating that we buy properties, and in this case, the title company, when we did the purchase of the house, put this, not the office address. He put the address of the physical house. We had problems with this tenant from the beginning. We had so many, we have court records, we have a lot of things that the gentleman wasn't paying, he wasn't following instructions. You might ask, what is that something to do with this? We didn't have any type of collection of any type of assessments or issues at the sidewalk of the property. This case is based on that the sidewalk was painted. So we couldn't do anything because we didn't know at all what was the case about. So I believe 3 months ago, we put the house for sale. The title company mentioned to us that we have this problem. In a day, I sent my guys there and I fixed the problem. But like I said, I couldn't fix it before because we were not aware of this. I have the documents here from the court stipulating the contract and all the issues that we have with this tenant. It was like you said before, it was a communication issue. We were not aware of this.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that.
Are you Antonio Lopez?
I'm Antonio Lopez, sir.
All
I go
right,
by Tony too as well.
Now, did you not get copies of the code enforcement notices?
No, sir.
I think what he's saying is that they put on the property appraiser's records, they put the physical address of the property, not whatever his mailing address is. So the village legally noticed him, as we're required to do on 162, but he did not have the
Okay,
address
so-
that he wanted to be notified at on PAPA or the tax collector.
That's correct.
So he didn't get notified because they were going to the house. The house was getting posted.
So by the time that we get notified, it was when we put the house for sale and the new title company mentioned to us that we have these fines.
Okay, so you didn't get the notices because there was a wrong address, according to you.
Correct.
So
It's a rental property, right?
it went to the property, which went to the tenant, which ignored all of this stuff.
Yes.
And it didn't go to your address. And if it would have gone to your address, you're telling us you would have corrected it in the same day it would have taken.
It was just paint on the sidewalk. And I'm not saying that this is wrong by any stretch of the imagination. I just say that we didn't receive it, and that's what I appeal for you, for the special magistrate, if we can reduce the fine.
Okay, and do you have a number?
Will you agree with $5,000?
What's your number?
Yes, $5,000.
Sold.
How long do you need to pay that, 60 days or 30?
See, they're just giving you more time.
So 30 days is sufficient? Okay.
Okay, 5K, 30-day.
Let me give you a date,
They
special
always give me a
magistrate.
date. They don't like,
Yeah, I
they
don't
don't
like
like, they don't like it hanging out there 30 days from the date of this order, because we sign them on Mondays. Every Monday, unless it's a national holiday, and then we sign them on Tuesdays. So we could be off by a whole day or two.
Precision special magistrate, we would request July 12th.
Lawyers are precise animals. It's almost annoying. All right, what's the day? 5K by?
Sir.
7/12. All right. Do we have good address for him?
Yes, I will find my address.
If you have a card and you can leave it for the code officer, we can email you the order once it gets signed if you have a closing or something that's pending.
Because they will say if you get clearish funds, or if the fund's clear, they will give you an
Because
email
he'll want to
back to your
release at
title
some point is
company
what he's really after.
before the release is actually done and recorded, so you can keep your closings and stuff on track.
Right.
That's what they're saying.
So give Mr. Armiente your card if he doesn't already have it.
All right, and I will sign that order probably on Monday.
Do you have an extra card? She's got a business card right here, sir.
See, look, someone's responsible and has copies of these things. Ha.
I don't have Andrew's new ones, but do you want to, they're on my desk, but do you want to write? That's okay.
Okay.
That's Linda's, so.
That's right.
She'll be doing.
What's your number? What's your email?
Almost prepared, somewhat prepared,
I
underprepared.
had Margaret.
All right.
Where I can make the payment?
You have to wait till you get the order, so you won't get the order until.
Monday, Tuesday?
You can't pay until you get the order, but then you pay right.
You'll get it Monday, please. Sometimes you do Fridays if it's small, but it's okay.
For me to
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you, sir.
All right, and then we have the rest of my fine mitigation
Let's have him
agenda.
sign in.
Sir,
Sir, you're up.
you're up with 12 cases. Not really, but okay.
All the voters.
That was up there earlier. Is this who you're with here?
Yes.
Progress, okay, so if you just want to put your name in it.
Is
Let's
that
make
rain
it,
or is that the air conditioning?
that's rain.
Is it?
Yeah, it's coming down pretty bad.
Yeah. No, they've gotten 10 inches in Sarasota. 10 inches. Ah, enjoy that.
All of them. All the rest of them.
Yeah, he is the man. He's progress. Is that the rest of them? I think there's one stray in there, maybe?
He's that too, but
That's
we can
stray
ask
as
him.
well? Is he's FYR, SFR?
He is also,
Oh.
yes.
All right, sir, tell us who you are because you're the rest of my live agenda.
And before he does that, let me read them into the record if I could,
Sure.
just so we get, okay, we'll switch off. So the first one is case 19-0399116 Brookwood Avenue, Progress Residential Borrower 7 LLC. Do you want me to read them all, Special Magistrate?
You go right ahead, do whatever you'd like.
And then we'll have to switch code officers here at the end. But the second one is 19-1061 117 Miramar Avenue, Progress Residential Borrower 2 LLC. 21-0056 127 Alcazar Street, Progress Residential Borrower 12 LLC. 22-1209 172 Royal Pine Circle South, Progress Residential Borrower 1 LLC. That's all you, right?
Yes.
And then we have two more. Just keep reading them to get them all in, and they'll be the different code officer. But we'll switch then.
All right, so go ahead, sir, with your name.
Yes, Tyler Mesmer, attorney with Tapuzis and Associates,
All right,
counsel
spell your
for
last name
Progress
first, Tyler.
Residential.
Stop. Last name spell.
Yes, Mesmer, that's M as in Matthew, E-S, M as in Matthew, E-R. First name Tyler, Tyler.
That's easy. It's like Tyler Hero. All right, so you are an attorney, and you represent Progress Residential Borrowers.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And let's start out with 19,
For Your Honor or Special Magistrate?
anything. It doesn't matter. I'm low ego.
If you want, I can read you the fine amounts for the 5 that have called in.
Yeah, go ahead.
So 19-0399, the fine amount is $30,375. Case 19-1061, the fine amount is $9,875. Case 21-0056, the fine amount is $27,200. And case 22-1209, the fine amount is $13,400.
All right, so, easy question. Why should they be reduced?
I was anticipating your question based on the previous violator. Okay, so applying the three mitigation factors of 162.09 subsection 2B, the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator, and the previous violations by the violator. We have 6 properties here. You look across the board, they've all been brought into compliance. You've been, your client, or I'm sorry, not your client, the village and my firm, along with my client, have been working hand in glove with you to bring this into compliance, to bring these properties into compliance. The gravity of the violations, while we appreciate that they are violations, they aren't severe in that they didn't pose an immediate risk of public harm. As for the actions taken by the, as for the actions we've taken, not only did my partner fly in from Rhode Island to attend the previous meeting, I drove in to attend this one from St. Petersburg, where I'm located. And my client, with these 6 properties, has spent tens of thousands of dollars to bring these into compliance, and has done so with all deliberate speed. And for that reason, Your Honor, I would respectfully submit that you know, the 3 factors weigh heavily in my client's favor to mitigating these to 10% of the violation of the initial fine across the board for these 6 properties.
Okay.
That were read into the record.
All right, so I've been special magistrate for the Village of Royal Palm Beach for approximately 15 years now. And I know that because I see orders I've signed in 2009. One of the largest commercial landlords of single-family homes is Progress Residential. And I have dealt with Progress Residential over that 15-year period in varying different degrees based upon the amount of caring by the people that you have hired or your client has hired to come deal with the village. And some of those people we knew by name and by face, and you could pick up a phone and you could make a phone call, and these sidewalks would be fixed and the garbage cans would be put back. And then I haven't seen a Progress Residential person here in like a year or two. Okay? And then it fell all to heck. There are other people who come in here that have a certain number of commercial single-family homes. That's what I call them. They're renters of single-family homes. And they at least cooperate with the village's code enforcement department, and they fix the things as they go along. Here we have a serial violator. There are six different addresses, so it's not even one property.
They're cross-attaching lanes.
Yeah, they're crossed all over the place. The funny part is, you know, it's probably going to spread to other properties because some of them are titled under the same name.
And we're setting aside the constitutionality of a cross-attaching lane.
Well, I don't care about that at all. That's more of a business problem for you guys, not for me. The problem I have is case number 2019, driveway and sidewalk stain, a 2019 case, and now it's coming around to 2024, 5 years later, when you finally sent out the vendor that you guys have hired a billion times because they're your preferred vendor to clean up the sidewalk you should have cleaned up 6 years ago. And then you want me to be sympathetic and reduce it to 10% because, hey,
Well, I mean,
it's like, oh, well, if you were responsible enough to hire someone to come out here and look after all your stuff and to take care of your stuff, you wouldn't be in front of me on 6 different cases totaling, I don't know, $100,000 to $200,000 worth of fines. Probably closer to 100. Yeah. So your equities, yeah, they're like, it's not the hugest problem in the world, but when you let them drag out for 5 or 6 years and you're totally unresponsive, and then you want a 90% reduction, you expect me to do that?
if I may respond, I don't want to.
Go right ahead and respond.
Yeah.
This is just my view of this.
Oh, I understand. And you do raise some good points. What I would counter with is that my firm was only recently hired by Progress, and since that time, we've been working hand in glove, and Mr. Tapuzis has been working very closely on these files. I've reviewed the emails, I've reviewed the case files that the printed case files that we have at our office, and we've spent hours and hours of time,
trying to undo your client's neglect. Trying to undo your client's neglect. And I understand the sympathy of this. I was in a code enforcement case in Glen Ridge where I've been the town attorney for 35 years, and someone came in that we were hired that day of the hearing for the violation, asking for more time for a violation that had been going on for a year.
And that was the point I was emphasizing. Is that,
I understand you're late to the game, but the problem is your client has been owning these properties for a while, and they have been late to the game in repairing them. And if you look at these cases, they're all 2019 and later, because before 2019, you probably had property managers who actually paid some attention to this stuff, and I haven't seen one, like I've said, for a year or two.
yeah, and
Okay, so why don't we get down to the reality of life? You want to pay $3,000 $37
point,
on case
Your Honor.
number 2019. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, these are, and it is inexcusable in one respect, and I completely agree with Your Honor. These are 2019 cases. Part of the reason for the delay was the COVID issue, and because of that, there were vendor delays. People, didn't want to work in person. They were doing, and I've seen this across the board because I do title litigation and appeals. I've seen this across the board where they're doing virtual inspections. They aren't showing up to they weren't at the time showing up to properties in person. And I mean, and I actually just had a hearing in St. Pete Beach, a code enforcement board hearing in St. Pete Beach yesterday, where this was an issue with another client on a 2019 case. But what I'm saying is it seems as though that's pervasive in the industry when you're dealing with cases that occurred during that 3-year period where vendors refused to come in person and preferred to do things virtually. To the extent that's possible, but they did. They found a way to do it, or they say they have, and I think that really does address your point about nobody coming out in person, and being able to mitigate the problem in person, and I think that and that's why I was emphasizing the point that. Mr. Tapouzis, since the last hearing, has been, working tirelessly on this with the vendors, and they have been, making the repairs, and the properties have been brought into compliance. Now, I preface that at the beginning by saying it was a partial explanation, but certainly not a full explanation. I understand, and that's why we're asking for a mitigation.
Understood.
If this were an untreated pool, I would agree.
I'm just looking at
100% we'd be liable.
I'm looking at page 5 of 6 of the agenda.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at there's 5 mitigation hearings.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look up one more, there's an irreparable, irreversible hearing. And you look up one more, there's you again.
Mm-hmm.
Another one on page 2 of the agenda.
Progress Residential Borrower Number 5, LLC. That is the village attorney, who I'm referring to, she says there's also one on page 2. And I do this once a month. This is one of my regular things. And I almost always have a president or a progress residential here. It's just the norm now. But I'm telling you, it wasn't the norm before when you people had property managers who cared. The last groups you've hired have not come into the village and done their work because we still have more violations going on as we speak on this agenda.
And what can I do to address that? Can I relay that
Well,
to them?
you're going to talk to your client and say, oh boy, the magistrate was not happy that he was pointing out that you have other violations on an agenda where you are begging for grace because you're a good citizen and you fixed everything, except you haven't and you continue not to. I mean, I'm just looking at what's in the record before me and what's in front of me.
I understand.
So we're not going to continue this back and forth. We're going to go ask the village what their numbers are for these cases so I can come to a decision. What is the number?
I can go with you. Let me just put a couple of things on the record. So we are not opposing reduction. So sometimes we do oppose reduction. In one of these cases we are because there's another lien on the same property, but in the brunt of these we're not strongly opposing reduction. But just I want him to understand that we understand that you came into compliance. The difficulty is that the residents had to suffer with the violations. With this first case, this didn't come into compliance until 2022. So it was out of compliance for 3 years. So the neighbors had to deal with the staining that wasn't being addressed because nobody comes to the hearing. So I understand your point about if it was an unsecured pool or a green pool or whatever, but the reality is still that the village residents have to deal with these violations when they don't get cured timely. So I just want you to understand that a sidewalk may mean the same thing to the neighbor that the green pool means to you. But that said, we're not opposing reduction. In this case, we would be amenable to reducing this fine from $30,375 rather to $6,804.26 payable within 60 days.
Could you repeat the property address for that one?
This one is 116 Brookwood Avenue. It's case 19-0399.
And you love these funky numbers here, so 6804.24?
26.
26, see, I was close.
Yeah, I'm sorry, could you, I missed that as well.
6804.24, which is, what kind of reduction are we looking at here in terms of mathy?
It's not a standard number across the board.
I know, I'm just trying to think if this is out of 36 out of 35, so it's 80% approximately, right?
It's a substantial reduction, but again,
Yeah,
all these
so
cases were on last month's agenda and nobody appeared. So the
Yeah.
village does incur costs to get all these cases to hearings every month and to do
Well, no,
all
and
of
it
that.
just blocks other people from asking for reductions
only 10
when your
allowed,
guys
that's
didn't show up last
correct.
month, and we had like 6 of these on the agenda.
So that 60 days would be by August 12th, please.
All right, so we're going to romp through these now.
And I'll read the rest if you'd like, Special
No,
Magistrate.
we're going to take these one at a time. So in case number 19-0399, with a fine of $30,375, respondent is proposing a 10% payment. The village has proposed a payment of approximately 20%, and I go with the village's at 6804.24 by August 12th.
In case 19-1061, the fine amount is 9. Go ahead. I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead.
I was going to say, could you repeat the property address for that one?
That is 116 Brookwood Avenue.
Yeah, we already covered that. I got
Okay,
it.
we're going to the next one, which is 117 Miramar.
Case 19-1061, the village would be willing to reduce this to $2,704.26, again payable by August 4th.
That's about,
I'm sorry, August 12th was the date I gave you previously.
respondents at 978. I'm going to go with the village's 2704.26 by August 12th.
In case 21-0056, which is 127 Alcazar Street, the village is opposing reduction in this. There is another lien on this property, so we're opposing reduction in this case.
All right, what is the other lien on the property? Is it a village lien or is it something else?
It's a code enforcement lien, that's correct.
Okay, this is the second code enforcement lien on the property, and the other code enforcement lien has not been satisfied or abated?
Correct.
I'll let you argue that one.
This is the first I'm hearing of another lien on the property. Could you advise us what it is?
I can give you the book and page. It's book 32414, page 1086. And it's an active code enforcement lien.
Yeah, one moment.
Whether you want to go ahead or pull this one.
Yeah, I'd rather continue that one because I have the latest I pulled in the property record showed that they were all in compliance.
Okay. All right, so he's withdrawing 127 Alcazar.
The next one is 22-1209. It's 172 Royal Pine Circle South. The village would be willing to reduce this to $3,424.14, again payable by August 12th.
All right, respondents at $1,340. We'll go with the village's $3,420.14 by 8/12.
And then the next two we need to read into the record.
Please do so.
The next two are cases 19-0465, 133 Cortez Avenue, Progress Residential Borrower 1 LLC, and case 21-0822, 200 Cordoba Circle, FYR SFR Borrower LLC.
I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence and
I like these
I'd like
side
to
comments.
enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, letter requesting fine mitigation. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit compliance. Again, I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence for 133 Cortez Avenue as well. Exhibit 1, letter requesting fine mitigation request. Exhibit 2, order assessing fine. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, affidavit compliance.
Okay. And what are the amounts on those?
In case 19-0465, the fine amount is $61,950. And in case 21-0822, the fine amount is $7,425.
All right. So at 133 Cortez Avenue, the respondent would request a fine of $6,195. What is the village's number?
We again would not oppose reduction. We would be willing to reduce this one to $13,177.76, payable by August 12th. And then you want me to give you you want to do them one by one, or you want me to read
We're
the
doing
other?
one by one. That way the record's cleaner. All right. Okay, $13,177.76 by August 12th.
And the last one, 21-0822, which is 200 Cordoba Circle. Again, the village is not opposing reduction. We'd be willing to reduce this one to $2,224.22, payable by August 12th.
Why didn't you just make it $2,222.22, just to alliterate the stink out of it?
Yeah, for alliterative purposes and convenience, I think that would be, best, right?
Well, it is $2,222.22.
It's the same, no, it's not the same thing backwards and
Or we
forwards.
could just make it an even 2,000. I'm just throwing that out there,
Get on your client's case and you're going to say, look, I did a good job for you. I got these reduced to the 80%-ish level, but you have two cases sticking out here like a sore thumb on the agenda that you need to take care of.
Yeah, that is.
Dov, it's hard to argue the equities when we're still
Standing
violating.
evidence right there.
That's what I'm saying.
That.
And I've been doing this pretty much for 15 years or so, and about 80% is about the norm.
I understand.
Got it?
And I need to make one correction. I'm sorry, I think I misspoke. The book and page number I gave you is this lien, not the other one, so I don't have that with me.
Okay.
If you leave me your card, I can get it for you. I'm sorry, I didn't have that for you tonight.
That's okay. They'll come back with the other one when they're ready. But at least that way they'll be complete and they'll know.
I think to the special magistrates, to your question about what can be done, the special magistrate indicated this, but people used to appear on behalf of Progress Residential. They no longer appear. I don't presume you're here for the 2 violation hearings, so that is part of the problem, is that nobody comes to the hearings. So if there's something that you want to convey back, that is a strong message back.
And even if they're not going to appear, at least if they would talk to the code officer and say,
Right.
look, I'm in Miami, I can't drive up here, but what do I need to do to get this done? And then just email the stuffing out of everyone back and forth to say, look, I contacted them 7 times to try to get these things done, and I have vendors lined up and ready.
Yeah, I mean,
and then I look at it and I go, well, yeah, okay, let them do it. And as you see, I let other people have more time on the violation side because they're trying.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. I mean, that's what I advise all my clients to do is get out in front of it. When they get a notice, to work with the city or village.
And the problem is, I don't know what the personnel thing is, but they used to have I think this was the blonde lady.
Sorry?
There was a blonde woman, I think, who was Progress, but there was someone who was nicely involved with these things, who was on the phone with them all the time.
Remember, but
But she was a nice lady, and she would be here, and she'd be like, oh, oops, and then a week or 2 later, we get a phone call, and it'd be taken care of, and it'd be like, oh, yeah, it's a Progress case. Don't worry, it's going to be good.
Was it Brenda Buenaventura?
I don't know. It was just a nice middle-aged blonde woman who took care of things and at least acted like she cared. I mean, that's,
I forget her name.
Yeah, I do too, but she was nice.
Completely. I mean, that goes a long way.
This is just giving you information for your client is what I'm basically doing, okay? We just haven't had the level of communication that we were used to before this last set came along, because a lot of these things were eliminated because of the communications that were going back and forth. And right now, you're coming in here, and you're like trying to do 6 or 7 reductions with an agenda that shows 2 or more violations. Okay? All right, we're done with you. Take care. Drive safely back.
All right, if I could
It's a
just,
mess.
as a housekeeping measure, for 172 Royal Pine, that was 80% approximately. What was the precise figure?
Which one was it?
172 Royal Pine, you said? It's 3424.14.
3424.
0.14.
14, okay.
And you'll get orders that have all that.
Yeah, I understand. And then 116 Brookwood Avenue?
116 Brookwood, that was the first one.
6804.26.
24 I had.
Okay.
6804.24? You have 26 now?
26.
I'll change it to 26 just to be easier for you. I changed one for me.
Oh, we did, 24 is fine. If that's what you said, that's fine. I'll change mine to 24. That's
All right,
fine.
it's 24, still 24.
6804.24
Yeah,
for
okay.
Brookwood.
116 Brookwood.
Okay. 2404.
6804.24.
Oh, got it, okay.
Round numbers. My lack of math skills kept me out of medical school.
Training.
Yeah, same with me, that's why I went into law, right?
Exactly. Smart, but not smart enough. That's the problem with
Okay,
lawyers.
And then for 133 Cortez Avenue?
Well, let's go down the line. Here, you're on fine mitigations, right?
Yes.
Bottom of page 5, you have the 6804.24. Right?
He doesn't have an agenda, I don't
I
think.
don't have the agenda, I'm going
Do
by
we have an
property
extra
address.
agenda for the man?
He can just write them down. We can read them.
I'm just writing them down.
That's right.
So I can relay the information.
Yeah, it just makes it so much easier if it's just on the paper with the address. He doesn't even have to think. It's just
Well,
there.
I know, but we have 50 more cases that
We'll
we've
get through them.
got to
Here we
get
go.
to.
Here. Go give him the thing. Show him where number 1 is on fine mitigations, the last one on page 5.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Write down these numbers. Last one on page 5, 6804.24. Everyone check me to make sure I'm right. On the next case down, 117 Miramar, 2704.26. 2704.26. 127 Alcazar was a skip. The next number, 172 Royal Pine, is 3424, 3424.14. 3424.14. The next number down, 133 Cortez, 13,177.76. Lots of alliteration going on here. 13177.76. And last but not least, 200 Cordova Circle, 2222.22.
2-2.
Okay.
Great.
All right.
And,
Safe drives.
I'm sorry, I just need, the only one I need reread is 117 Miramar.
2704.26.
Okay.
And we
Thank you
have
very
other
much.
cases to get through, so we need to romp. Okay? Safe drives. Be careful out there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. 24-23, 102 Granada.
Assessment hearings, 24-0023 is being pulled.
Pulled, great.
24-0105, 215 Saratoga Boulevard West, Dania Santos.
Following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order of finding violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, AS 400 permanent information. Exhibit 4, affidavit of compliance.
It's granted.
This one actually is a fine assessment hearing.
Okay.
Your
Do they have
previous
How much
order,
is the amount?
that's what
how-
I'm going to tell you. Your previous order required compliance by May 30th. They complied on May 31st, so we're asking for no fine.
Hopefully granted.
Thank you.
Fine, thank you. Next is
To the dang order.
24-0286, 10664 Acme Road, Main Street at Tuttle Royale LLC. Thank you,
I'd
sir.
like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, order of finding violation. Exhibit 2, verification ownership. Exhibit 3, pictures.
All right, you have USPS track and confirm for your service. I'm surprised the Tuttle people didn't show up. They were so excited about it last time. What is the amount of the fines?
This one has been out of compliance since May 31st. Your prior order required compliance by May 30th, so this is 13 days at $200, so a fine of $2,600 and continuing.
Plus 100 plus continuing is granted.
Thank
Good
you.
advertising budget.
Yeah.
Next is violation hearings, case 24-0055, 1309 Savoyard Way, SRPB SUB LLC.
And they used to have a person.
Special Magistrate. The code sections referenced are 12-4C and 14-2, the garbage bin and public view and miscellaneous items. The violation was observed by the previous code officer on January 5th, 2024. The notice of violation was sent certified mail on January 8th and returned on January 16th. The notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/24 and returned on 4/29. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, a notice of violation with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, a notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4 are the pictures.
The blue clashes with the cream-colored house. All right, what would you like on this one?
Compliance by June 27th or appearance at the July 10th fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
7, 10, 25.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be our standard. That's what I call it anyway.
Pretty standard, yes, sir.
Yep, okay.
Thank you.
Granted. Next.
Thank you. Next is
And
24
service via sign green card.
24-0176, 142 Heatherwood Drive, Sezi Quadra, and Ralph Ma Jr.
Special Magistrate, the code sections at hand is Code Section 6-22-105.5 for permit number 23-1570, an air conditioning changeout. The violation was written on 2/22/24. The notice of violation was sent certified mail on 2/23/24 and posted. The notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/25 and returned on 4/30. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. The notice of violation with an affidavit of service. The notice of hearing is Exhibit 1 is a notice of violation with the affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is a notice of hearing. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 is the AS 400 permit information. And Exhibit 5
is the affidavit of compliance, and you get your finding of fact, which is granted.
Thank you. 24-0204, 122 Waterway Road, Progress Residential Borrower 5 LLC.
But he just left. Go ahead.
Thank you. The code section at hand, Special Magistrate, is 26-57, a canopy without a permit. The violation was observed on 2/28/24. The notice of violation was sent certified mail on 2/29 and returned on 3/7. The notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/2 and returned on 4/10. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation. Exhibit 2, the notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. And Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
Now, how many times have I said how much I love Willie Grant's stamp? This is the Progress Residential guy who puts his stamp on the green card with the signature and Willie on there. And I love Willie, and I've talked about him for years. Yes, this is Progress Residential. It's not like
Is that him or no?
Yes, it's exactly him. Willie, my man. He's the mailroom guru. All right, what do you want on these? Granted.
24-0220-10186, Patience Lane, Mohammed.
Anyone ever remember Mary Hartman? Mary Hartman? You have to be of an age.
The code sections are 12-4C, 6-135, and 14-2, non-contrasting house numbers, miscellaneous items, and garbage bin in public view. The violation was observed on 3/8/24. The notice of violation was sent certified mail on 3/9 and returned on 3/18. The notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/30 and posted. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation. Exhibit 2, the notice of hearing with the affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4 are the pictures, and Exhibit 5, an affidavit of compliance.
Andrew is starting in the Margaret vein. He's getting all these finding of facts. I love it. Granted.
Thank you. 24-0228, 140 Ponce de Leon Street, Rosalie E. Ailes.
The code section for this case, Special Magistrate, is 14-4A, a disabled vehicle. The violation was observed on 3/14/24. The notice of violation was sent certified mail on 3/14 and returned 3/16. The notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/2 and returned on 4/4. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, the notice of violation. Exhibit 2, the notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, the affidavit of compliance.
He is on a roll. Sign green card equals service. Finding of fact is granted. That's 4 in a row.
Thank Thank you. 24-0235, 188 Ponce de Leon Street, Antonio Santa Maria J. Jr. trustee.
The code sections for this case is 6-190 and 14-4A, a disabled vehicle, stained sidewalk and driveway. The violation was observed on 3/14. The notice of violation was sent certified mail on 3/15 and returned on 3/18. The notice of hearing was sent certified mail on 4/25 and returned on, I'm sorry, it was never returned. That we actually have actual service for that. Mr. Santa Maria called me, and the telephone paper is in the case file, Special Magistrate.
Okay, actual service is good, okay.
I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1 is a notice of violation. Exhibit 2 is a notice of hearing. Exhibit 3 is the verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
I think I don't know if he's part of the Santa Maria family, but they are very seminal in Royal Palm Beach's growth. They own the Royal Inn. The dad was a county commissioner. Yep, the Santa Marias.
Special Magistrate, I'd like to state for the record that the code section cited 6190 is for 6190A35.
A instead of 3.
The A is missing from the agenda, and he didn't say 3 and 5, so he's saying 3 and 5 now.
Okay, finding of fact is still granted.
Thank you. That's what the order will say, is the 3 and the 5. Thank you. 24-0255, 1290 Chorus Way, Pearl S. Voodoo Estate.
The code reference, the code sections for this case, Special Magistrate, is 6-190A, a stained sidewalk and structure. The violation was observed, excuse me, on 3/28/24. The notice of violation was sent certified mail on 3/29/24 and returned on 4/1/24. The notice of hearing was sent on 4/25/24 and posted. I'd like to submit the following documents into evidence. And Exhibit 1, a notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing with an affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. And Exhibit 4, pictures.
Now you're just being picky. They cleaned up 90% of it. They just got a
So
little
for
bit.
the record, he's going to tell you that the driveway and walkway are complied,
Oh, yeah, I can tell. It's like 90% of it. We got a little bit of sidewalk.
but it's the same code section, so the order will specify that the driveway and walkway have been complied.
And I've been in communication with the property owner. I explained to her that the sidewalk is still
Yeah.
not fully taken care of.
Now, they just hired someone to do the driveways and they ignored the sidewalks? Who knows?
In this circumstance, I believe, but she told me that her parents used to live there. They passed away, so she's taking care of it from a distance.
Okay.
So, but
Hopefully she
she's
can-
well aware of it. I spoke with her. I said we're going to ask for compliance by 6/27, and she said that she's going to take care of it.
Okay, so we're getting compliance by 6/27?
Yeah, or the 710 fine assessment hearing, or a $25 a day fine.
Granted. 7/14?
710.
7/10 is 8/14. There you go.
It was a typo
Zero.
on it's 710.
We're good. Well, I'll be
Next.
here on the 10th.
We'll be on the 10th. Next one is 24-0091, 415 Las Palmas Street, Brittany Davis.
Code Section 06190A1, structure is stained. Observe this violation on 2/1/24. Send out notice of violation certified mail on 2/3/24. Posted it to the property. Send out notice of hearing certified mail on 4/24/24. Posted that as well. Like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
Just amazing the house value jumps in the village when you look at the affidavit of ownership. Finding of fact, is this one?
Yes, sir.
Is granted. You guys on a roll.
24-0129, 131 J Court, Solomon Silberstein.
Code Sections 12-4C, garbage can in public view. I observed this violation on 2/6/24, sent out a notice of violation, certified mail on 2/6/24, posted it to the property, sent out a notice of hearing, certified mail on 4/25/24, posted that as well. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, picture.
It's very nice of them to put a chair out for the trash people to rest
Isn't that
on.
nice? And then
Now, there's still got one on the side there, or is that
And there's another, I was going to point that out.
one garbage can?
on
It
the
looks
side.
like it's recycling day, but they leave their recycling
That's
up
a
by the...
regular garbage can, it's just laying down.
Oh, well, maybe it's easier to hide laying down, I don't know. All right, so is this an 8 or a 6?
6, compliance by 627 or 710
Or appear at the 710
25.
hearing or face a $25 fine.
Thank you.
24-0133, 213 Sandpiper Avenue, Lucas and Jennifer Shartner.
Code Sections 9-5, 2657, and 14-4A. Hedges exceed height allowed, shed and pergola without a permit, disabled vehicle. I observed this violation on 2/7/24, sent out a notice of violation, certified mail on 2/9/24, posted that to the property, sent out a notice of hearing, certified mail on 4/25/24, and posted that to the property as well. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, AS400 permit information. I also spoke to the wife on May 30th as well.
So the covered car is
It has a-
possibly disabled because,
Most likely, because it had an expired tag, and when I spoke to the wife, I explained to her that she needs to display a current tag on it, and she said it did not have a current tag. That's
oh,
why
that's
they
a
put the
wonderful
tarp.
admission, so there you go.
No, they need to get a current tag,
Okay,
as well as the permits for the shed and pergola and trim the hedge.
well, they have a whole litany of stuff. This is an 8-1, isn't it?
Great, comply by 8-1 or
8-1,
814 or 25.
25. It's 814, right?
Yes, sir.
25, granted.
Thank you. 24-0134, 163 Bilbao Street, Cindy Sisson.
Code Section 06190A35, sidewalk and driveway apron are stained. I observed this violation on 2/7/24, sent out a notice of violation, certified mail on 2/9/24, posted that to the property, sent out a notice of hearing, certified mail on 4/24/24, and posted that as well. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing, affidavit of service. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
Okay, so they only did up the driveway, they didn't bother with the sidewalk or the apron.
I believe that the
That's kinda lazy.
driveway is painted,
Ah, oh well.
so
You have service via posting on this one like you did on the last one, what would you like?
Compliance by 8-1 or 814 fine hearing or $25 day fine.
Granted.
24-0148, 217 Parkwood Drive South, Julia A. Curiel.
5 and 9/8, hedges exceed the height allowed. I observed this violation on 2/12/24, sent out a notice of violation, certified mail on 2/13/24, posted it to the property, sent out a notice of hearing, certified mail on 4/24/24, and got a signed green card on 4/26/24. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation, affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, picture.
Stuff's really pretty.
It is pretty, but it's too high.
You have service via signed green card on this one. What would you like?
So on this one, code section 9-5, which is the hedges in the back and the side, complied. But the hedges, the 9-8, the hedges in the front are not yet complied, so we'd ask for your order to require them to continue to comply with the 9-5, and then for 9-8, comply by 8-1 or 814 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
8-1, 8-14, 25 is granted.
Thank you.
And we're like finding effect on 9.9-5.
9-5, thank you. Next page, case 24-0201 is being pulled. 24-0236, 152 Bob White Road, SRP SUB LLC.
Yeah.
Yep.
My papers are all
White.
Code Section 1557.9598, 06-198-35, and 14-2. Grass and weeds exceed height allowed, hedges exceed allowable height, sidewalk and driveway are stained, miscellaneous items in public view. I observed this violation on 3/15/24, sent out notice of violation certified mail on 3/15/24. It was signed on 3/21/24, sent out notice of hearing certified mail on 4/20/24, and it was signed on 4/25/24. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
Now, do they cut the grass, or is there still bad grass in the back?
That's complied. 15-57, which is the grass and weeds, is a finding of fact.
Grass and weeds is complied, okay.
The other sections we're asking for compliance by 6/27, or the 7/10 fine hearing, or $25 a day fine.
Thank you.
24-0249, 177 Bilbao Street, Raj Naran Morgan.
Code Sections 2318B2, restricted trailer not parked to code. I observed this violation on 3/23/24. Sent out notice of violation of certified mail on 3/26/24. Received it signed and not dated on 4/2/24. Sent out a notice of hearing certified mail on 4/29/24. Got that back signed and not dated on 4/30/24. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit compliance.
So brown and pink go together? Just asking.
Pardon?
I'm a guy. We don't know these things. Brown and pink, they kind of go together? Kind of?
Kind of.
Okay.
They like it.
Finding a fact on this one, please.
Thank you.
24-0252, 96 Sparrow Lane, Maria D. Escalera, and Ivan M. and Amber C. Lopez Quijano.
Code Sections 942, fence and disrepair. Repair. Let me learn how to talk here. An extra paper. I observed this violation on 3/26/24, sent out notice of violation certified mail on 3/27/24, have received the green card signed and not dated on 4/2/24, sent out notice of hearing certified mail on 4/20/24. I received it signed on 4/30/24. I've spoken to the owners as well. I'd like to enter the following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
That's why you should never paint a fence.
They have
just makes it
repaired
look worse.
some of it, but not all of it.
All right, so what are the dates on this one? You have,
This one's complied by 8/1 or the 8/14 fine assessment hearing, or $25 a day fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. 24-0259, 123 Finch Court, Brandon West.
Code Sections 15-132, 23-17, 06-198-3. Hoop left curbside, parking on or over the sidewalk, driveway is stained. On sidewalk. I observed this violation on 3/28/24. Parking on or over the sidewalk, the driveway is stained, not the sidewalk. I observed this violation on 3/28/24, sent out notice of violation certified mail on 3/29/24. They signed it on 4/5/24. Sent out notice of hearing certified mail on 4/24/24. They signed that on 5/2/24. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit compliance.
I'm just trying to see how you dunk over the top of that car.
Pardon?
It's going to be hard to dunk over the top of that car. That's like NBA All-Star Week dunk contest material there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. What would you like? Do you have finding a fact? Because you have so much service there.
Thank you. 24-0262, 150 Sparrow Drive, Feng Tan and Melinda and Wah and Yut Tom.
Code Sections 14-4A, disabled vehicle. I observed this violation on 3/28/24, sent out a notice of violation 3/29/24, posted it to the property, sent out a notice of hearing on 5/14/24, and I've spoken with the owner on 5/29/24. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, picture.
Well, I see they tried to hide it from you by turning it around. Did that fix anything?
And they put a for sale sign on it.
Didn't fix anything, did it?
No, I can't see the tag.
Yeah, all right. Affidavit of service and affidavit of service. You got service. What would you like?
Compliance by 8/1 or the 8/14 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Well, hopefully they'll sell it by then.
Hopefully.
Granted.
24-0275, 1049 Concert Way, IH6 Property, Florida, LP.
Code Sections 1557, 9(8), and 15-132. Grass and weeds exceed height allowed. Hedge exceeds height allowable height. Swale has bare areas. I observed this violation on 4/4/24. Sent out notice of violation for certified mail on 4/6/24. They signed it on 4/8/24. Sent out notice of hearing certified mail on 4/25/24. They signed for that on 4/27/24. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification of ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures. Exhibit 5, affidavit of compliance.
Finding of fact is granted, and you had service.
24-0278, 306 Las Palmas Street. I don't know if your agenda says it, but it should say Street. Progress Residential Borrower 5 LLC.
I will add the street in.
Code Sections 14-4A and 14-2, disabled vehicle and miscellaneous items in public view. I observed this violation on 4/5/24, sent out notice violation certified mail on 4/5/24. It was signed on 4/11/24. I sent out notice of hearing certified mail on 4/29/24. Got that back on 4/30/24. I'd like to enter those following documents into evidence. Exhibit 1, notice of violation. Exhibit 2, notice of hearing. Exhibit 3, verification ownership. Exhibit 4, pictures.
See, they bought it from Freo, Florida, and I remember Freo's name, too. I think they're just flipping it between companies. But you have my favorite guy, Willie Grant, with his stamp from the newsroom at Progress, or the mailroom. I mean, come on, he's the man. I love the stamp. All right, what would you like on this one?
In compliance by 627 or the 710 fine hearing or $25 a day fine.
Granted.
Thank you.
The record reflect that I have signed the minutes for the last meeting. I don't think we have anything else left, do we?
No, sir.
Case, everyone can go get wet and go home.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.